Hello, everyone. Wherever you're listening to, this message goes directly, firstly, to the religious leaders in Nigeria, both Christians and Muslims, then to our politicians. All right. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34 says, "Righteousness exalts a nation. The exaltation of a nation is its political and economic stability and buoyancy." All right. Then Proverbs 29 verse 2 says, "When the righteous are on the throne, the people rejoice. But when wicked people rule, the people mourn." What do we see happen in Nigeria? The people are mourning. The people are crying. Nigeria is not exalted. That's why there is joblessness and all of that. And who are we to blame? I think our Christian and Muslim leaders should take the blame first and foremost, because there are two sins we commit. Number one is that Nigeria is ruled from the local to the state to the federal levels by Christians and Muslims. And yet, the country is not exalted politically, economically. So what does that mean? It means that the people are crying. It means that those who are ruling us are wicked people. But they are very religious. So the Christian religion and the Muslim religion in Nigeria, we have ended up producing highly religious people, but wicked and unrighteous. That's why the country is not progressing. We should take that blame. Nigeria is ruled by Christians and Muslims at every level, and the country is not prospering. A country that is prospering, a country that is doing well politically, economically, means that the leaders are doing the right thing. So those are the righteous. The righteousness means to do the right thing. So when you have countries like China, you have countries like Dubai, you have countries like South Korea, Japan, United States of America, you have countries like Israel, like Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Malaysia. These are countries that are doing well. It means that their leaders are righteous. Yes, it is not those who populate churches and mosques that are righteous. It's those who do the right thing. So for the fact that the Christian religion as practiced in Nigeria, the Islamic religion as practiced in Nigeria, has not been able to produce righteous people, but religious people who are ruling and ruining the country, means we should take the blame. And one of the righteous things to do to make a country to grow is conservation of resources. Yes. The opposite of conservation is what? Wastefulness or wastage. Any country where there is wastefulness or waste of resources, it cannot grow. That is one of the manifestations. That is one of the symptoms, or that's one of the expressions of corruption in Nigeria. Waste. That government allocates resources, significant, substantial resources, to areas and to things that contribute nothing to the growth of the country economically. That is corruption. In the Bible, Jesus, who had the power to multiply 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed a multitude, at the end of that, he insisted that the remnant should be gathered so that nothing is wasted. He who had power to multiply still refused that something should be wasted. One of the laws governing the earth is the law of conservation of energy. Nothing is wasted. But in Nigeria, we see wastefulness everywhere. One of the ways that government wastes in Nigeria is through pilgrimage sponsorship. That our government still sponsors pilgrimage in this era should be an embarrassment. It should be a shame to all religious leaders in Nigeria. That we still sit down and tolerate to watch our government spend billions of naira every year sending citizens to Israel and to Saudi Arabia. It should be an embarrassment. It should be a shame, a slap on the dignity and integrity of Nigerian religious leaders. It shouldn't happen. It is religiosity. We have seen that religiosity does not build a nation. And yet we are still multiplying, and we are still funding religiosity in Nigeria. Think about it. Our government have been sponsoring pilgrims to these holy lands for years now. How has it changed our country? Are we not moving from bad to worse? Have our economy gotten better? The miracles they go there to seek, has it made the country better? Or the faith they go there to build, has it made the country better? Or the God that is not in Nigeria that they are going to look in those places, has it made our country better? And that religious leaders in Nigeria just accept this as normal. No, now time has come for us to stand up against this. So this is a challenge and a clarion call to all religious leaders in Nigeria, Christians and Muslims. Say no to government-sponsored religious tourism. Pilgrimages shouldn't be a responsibility of the government. Say no to it is one of the ways they are wasting our resources. When you say no to it, then you are no longer an accomplice. But until then, all leaders of religions in Nigeria, in fact, Christianity and Islam, were accomplices to the corruption that is killing Nigeria. And it seems that we are benefiting from it, and we are not saying nothing. And to you common Nigerians, I wish you would join me to start this campaign to say government should stop sponsoring pilgrimage, because it is still affecting you. Check it now. It is still the same thing. You that is a very poor person in your church or in your mosque, have you been selected to go for pilgrimage? They will still even do the pilgrimage by who knows who and all of that. Check the caliber of people who are even going for the pilgrimages and all of that. So money that would have been used to either subsidize education or to build hospitals are used to just buy flight tickets and give people money to go to foreign lands and then come back. And then come and still face hunger, come and still face insecurity, come and still face joblessness. I don't understand. So you should join me to make this campaign. And every religious leader in Nigeria, Christian and Muslim, if you don't stand up and take a stand against religious pilgrimage sponsored by government in Nigeria, just know that you have no integrity to stand up and preach anywhere. Yes. We have to stop it. And then secondly, and very importantly too, Nigeria is a secular state. Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Nigeria is not a Christian state. Nigeria is not a paganist or whatever state. Nigeria is a secular state. It means that the government cannot bankroll the expenses of any religion. What the government can do, and which I can even fight to death, is to give freedom of religion to everybody and to guarantee that every Nigerian has the freedom and the security to practice whatever religion he or she wants. Whatever you want to believe in, whatever you want to do with your life as part of your spirituality or religion, the government has an obligation to provide you the safe and free environment. That's all. We're a secular country. Nigerian government cannot be sponsoring religious programs. That is not the work of Nigerian program. It's corruption, and it's making these two noble God-given religions accomplices. And I'm hoping that this message will be a wake-up call to our Christian and Muslim leaders. We must start sanitizing the country by sanitizing ourselves. We must hands off and say to the government, we are no longer collecting money for pilgrimage. Use that money for education, use that money for job creation or for building infrastructures. From today forward, no more pilgrimage sponsored by government in Nigeria. Any Nigerian whom God has blessed and has the means to go on pilgrimage, by all means you should go. It's a beautiful and noble thing to do. But for government to use resources, scarce resources, in the midst of even countries that are prosperous, they are not sponsoring their citizens to pilgrimage, and they are prospering. Countries that are wealthier than Nigeria don't do that. Countries that are more Islamic than Nigeria, more Christian than Nigeria, do not sponsor their citizens with government money to such pilgrimages. Why are we doing it? It is high time we put a stop to it. And this is my simple message. Thank you.